Let's speak about the best buzzword there is today, which is 2 letters, AI.
Okay.
How do you view AI in game development? And then we will speak a bit how AI has been involved in Jagex. But what is your general perception about AI at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's recognizing the audience that I'm speaking to here. I think it's built a lot of excitement for a lot of good reasons. I think the perpetual question for me is how much of this translates to what you might call alpha, right? If everybody gets better at doing something, that's great, but really the only benefit, the only source of alpha is doing it more quickly than the guy next to you, because that's where you're going to find your edge. It might help you to outbid on audiences a little bit. It might help you to outbid based on creative optimization a little bit. It might help you to set better bidding floors. It might help you to set better retention progression curves or dynamic difficulty curves, or it might help with translation. But if you zoom out 5 or 10 years, you can assume that almost everybody left playing the game, as in developing games like this, will be doing those similar things. And so the true source of advantage doesn't really sit with any game developer at that point in time. I think for the next few years, you can certainly leap ahead of your competition by doing it more fast and more efficaciously and embracing tools like many studios currently are. But in 5 or 10 years, do I think any one of the tools that are currently providing advantage are still going to provide that advantage? My gut says probably not at the top of the market. So if you're going to utilize AI, it better be done in a bespoke way that allows you to perform differently in a way that only you can and your studio can for your players. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself accelerating towards the next parity point where everybody has access to the same set of tools.
Wow.
So the stuff that gets me interested is how unique applications of AI can be done in such a way that even if your competitors tried to copy it, it wouldn't really mean anything to them. That's a much harder question to answer,
Wow.
I think.
And how, with such a big company like Jagex, I don't know how big it is in terms, people, but, big in terms of culture and history.
Yeah.
How do you implement AI in this type of company?
Yeah, so I only have my view that I can speak to, but I don't believe that Jagex is a great fit for having AI producing its content that players play or its advertisements that players see. The reason being is, as we've already discussed, Jagex and its games are really about governing communities, right? They're governmental. And so imagine that, the existing prime minister was replaced by a very well-educated chatbot. There'll be some who would love that. I don't know how well it would work for the medium or long term. Our games are intrinsically human, are intrinsically artisanal, and they have a sense of humor baked throughout them that's a little bit like Monty Python. And so you can ask a GPT equivalent product to produce in the style of Monty Python the storyline for a quest. And it might sound great in isolation, but if the next 100 quests you produce are all done in the same way, and I know, for reasons that are quite hard to describe in language, that it is not going to feel the same in aggregate as the storylines produced by the person who has produced the previous 100 in their tone, in their voice, based on local niche humor that has a lot of feeling and character to it. So I think it's not useful for producing the content that our players will see. So that's a hard line for me. Where I think it is useful is making the ways of working more effective. So Jagex has, way back 20 plus years ago, the founder of Jagex, one of the founders, a guy called Andrew Gower, he was responsible for the production of a dedicated, unique, bespoke programming language called RuneScript. But then
it's so cool. You're saying it like that, but it's so cool.
It was cool then. 20 years later, it's like cool. Something we have to manage, right? So like the world has moved on a little bit.
Oh, I love it.
And our community is familiar with the phrase spaghetti code, and that's often used as like an excuse for why we can't do things as fast as we can. The challenge with RuneScript is that there's only like 8 people in the world that can write it, right? And so we've done our best to make sure that not too much of our business and our games is tied to the nature of RuneScript. And there's a whole technology suite built on top of RuneScript as well, which is also incredibly valuable, but also hard to replicate and use. One thing that is possible that I've seen for the first time recently is Python to RuneScript abstraction via AI. Which means that no longer are there 8 people who can interact with certain parts of our game engines. There are now millions of people that in theory could do that. Now, we're not quite at the point yet where we can just say nobody needs to understand RuneScript, but these flashes of encouragement suggest that the ways that we work and what becomes possible in what we deliver in a very handcrafted way could be growing in the way that they're delivered and the speed at which they arrive. I think that for us is the best way to use AI. It's how we do things, not what we do.
Oh,
Make sense?
makes fun. I'm blown away. I swear to God. It was no. It's
We're all figuring it out at the same time, right? Like
no, because it seems like you found the initial signs for something that might be very impactful for you. It's a very specific problem that probably only RuneScape has.
Yeah, for sure. And imagine we've got 25 years and we collect I don't know,
the amount
100 billion data points a day or
this
something.
is what I'm saying. Maybe you should train a model specifically on RuneScript in order. So this is the unique advantage, actually.
That's literally what I'm thinking, right? So in the context of find AI that only works for you and is an advantage only for you, well, we have 25 years of development. We've got hundreds of millions of lines of text in game, billions of lines of code that has gone into game, and hundreds of billions, if not trillions of data points from the game. And that's a data set that only we have that could inform things that maybe we didn't even know were possible or think were possible that might well delight players. So that's the way that I'm certainly thinking about it, but we're still early in that process.
Wow, that's it. It sounds amazing.
Should be.
On paper, it sounds amazing.
On paper, it sounds amazing. Exactly.
As the last question, John, I would love to ask you,
Yeah, go on.
what do you think is the role of human creativity in the era of AI? I'm sorry, John, I had to, because I'm having so much fun.
I mean, the word AI slop was AI slop. They come to mind a lot, right? And they get seen a lot. And I know particularly within players of our games and within our development community as well, there's not a lot of love for generic, highly identifiable AI products or the produce of AI products. And so I believe that artisanal creation, human creativity driving what exists in games is only going to be rarer and scarcer. And if done well, more differentiating. And if done well, maybe more valuable. So I think if we've pushed very hard into the realm of AI generation, there is a vacuum left by that direction of travel and speed of travel. And so for those that can do the handmade thing well, I think that might start to see more reward in a sea of more generalized, slightly commoditized products. That makes sense?
It's amazing, John. I had to ask it because I knew the answer will be amazing. So,
dude,
John,
I'm going to do a podcast one day. I'm going to put you through it. I am. But,
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I will do
exactly.
everything you want.